Hello everyone, welcome to part 4, module 1, computer networks. So in part 3, we saw some detail about the classification of the computer network by the scale or the area that is being covered by it. And we saw we have the classifications, say the personal area network, the local area network, metropolitan area network, and the wide area net. And out of this we covered this personal area network also. We saw some examples like the way in which the devices are being connected to its peripherals by Bluetooth technology, and how the communication is happening with respect to those implanted devices like pacemaker, etc., with remote control. So that you can think of as personal area network. Now we move on to our discussion on local area network. So local area network is the one that expands up to a room or building or an office. Okay, in that way you can view a local area network. Now, a local area network is a privately owned. So they may ask you some comparison among these two, these different classification like LAN versus WAN, MAN, something like that. So this is something you have to keep in your mind. Mostly, this local area networks are privately owned, in the sense within a building or within a campus, it is having a private ownership. And it is not possible for the public to interfere it. Okay, and that operates within and nearby a single building like a home, office, or factory, or whatever it is. So it is a privately owned network in nature. But when it comes to metropolitan area and wider network, it is not possible for you to have a single private metropolitan area network or wide area network. So mostly lands are privately owned. So now the lands are widely used to connect personal computers and consumer electronics to let them share resources. The ultimate goal, just like any computer network, is here also sharing of resources like printers. And these things we already seen, like in an office, everyone can use a common printer, provided it is being connected to the network. Okay, so together we can achieve that sharing of resources. When LANs are used by companies, they are called enterprise network. So that is another terminology when it comes to a local area network that is set up inside any organization or company. We call it as an enterprise network. Then the wireless LANs are very popular these days. So far we were talking about the wired local area network, where the devices are being connected to each other, say by means of coaxial cable, optical fiber cable, some kind of wired connection is there. Nowadays these wireless LANs are getting popularized, in the sense without any cable, without any anything like physical media, we can make the communication possible by means of some wireless technology. So they are getting popular these days, especially in homes, older office building, in the sense it is difficult for us to have a new wiring kind of thing, because it's a very old one. If you keep on giving different wiring, it may complicate the construction in that sense. Cafeterias and other places where it is too much trouble to install cables, wherever you are facing such a trouble, you can go for the wireless option. But of course it's a costly solution. If you are ready to afford, you can go for that, but very convenience matters, right? So in these systems, every computer has a radio modem and an antenna, of course, for receiving the signal and for the conversion purpose, so that it is used to communicate with the other computers. So that is a minimum requirement. So that will be there by default, those which are having a support to wireless communication. Now, in these devices, just like the router that we already see in case of wired communication, here we are using something called an access point, that is otherwise called the wireless router or a base station. Okay, so three terminology meaning the same concept: access point, wireless router, or base station, that relays a packet between the wireless computer and also between them and the internet. So why it is so? Suppose these devices are being connected wirelessly, right? Now they want to communicate to each other. At the same time, they want to communicate with something that is being located remotely, maybe wired or wireless means, something like that. Now the communication should go from this point, maybe this device want to communicate with this. So this is on wireless LAN located in a particular campus. This is another wireless LAN, maybe located remotely. Now ultimately, even though it is wireless, it has to take the help from at least this so-called backbone network. Okay, so wired backbone is minimum requirement, and through this wired backbone, so the information from this A will be collected and it is handed over to this B. Now at the end point of this wired backbone, you can see something called access point. So just like the router, wired router, in case of wireless communication, we have the wireless router or the access point. So that will be taking the information from you, and through you using some of the wired communication media, it will be delivered to the access point at the receiver side, and from there it will be delivered to the actual machine. And within a wireless LAN also, you can depend this access point. So if this A want to communicate with this particular machine, say D, it will be sending to access point, and after checking the address of D, it will be correctly delivered to D by access point. So the access point are the additional network devices that supports the actual networking, right? So they relays the packet between the wireless computer and also between them and the internet. Okay, so that is their duty. Let me reduce the pen width because it is spreading. Okay, fine. Now, however, if the other computers are close enough, they can communicate with the another in peer-to-peer configuration even. Okay, so that is in the sense, right, peer-to-peer in the sense direct kind of communication. This access point is not a compulsory thing here. You can have direct communication also, like P2P client server, those models that you already know. But here this peer-to-peer configuration, we mean like we are not depending on the access point. This A and D are communicating each other directly, like both are just peers, where they are not depending third one. That is also possible. So there is a standard for the wireless local area networks called IEEE 802.11, popularly known as Wi-Fi, wireless fidelity, which has become widespread in use. Okay, so the so-called Wi-Fi, the so-called Wi-Fi. So the standard of Wi-Fi is something known to everyone. So now I am giving you something called IEEE. So just you'll be knowing about IEEE. Everyone like this. It's a kind of standard organization. So we have IEEE documentation for different topologies, LANs, protocol, etc. Mainly for this LANs, we have different IEEE numbers, and that number means you can see the technical documentation of this protocol, its working, everything in this particular number, like 802.11. So that is something given for Wi-Fi. So this is a standard only. You can remember this anyway, how this IEEE 802.11 Wi-Fi technology is working, its protocol structure, everything we may see in the subsequent modules. Okay. So for the time being, just like a wired local area network, we have wireless LAN also. For wireless LAN, one standardization we have, that is the IEEE 802.11 standardization, and that is popularly known as the Wi-Fi, that is wireless fidelity. And we have other wireless LAN also, even wired also. Wired itself, I think I made another slide for wired LAN. Okay, so many variations are there. This is something that is popular and that is familiar for most of you, right? Now wired LAN, I think I am explaining here. So wired LANs use a range of different transmission technology. These transmission technologies you are well known, right? In our data communication classes we covered it. And most of them use technologies like copper wire, and some use optical fiber for better performance. The LANs are restricted in size, which means that the worst case transmission time is bounded. Very important. What makes this LAN attractive in the sense it is having restricted size, right? We already seen what is the size restriction of a local area network in the previous part. Please see there. And maybe up to 1 kilometer, I think, right? 1000 meter. So because of that, the time delay is something you can predict. Okay, and it is bounded and it is known in advance. So knowing these bounds will help the task of designing network protocols for this particular LAN. So don't worry about network protocol and all at this point. So as we already know, the minimum understanding is needed. Like protocol means it's agreement among all devices regarding how the communication has to take place, right? So we have different protocols. So whenever you are designing a protocol, if you know the time bound everything in advance, accordingly you can add more features and you can make the protocol more efficient. Okay, so such a facility is being provided by the LAN because of its restricted size, so that we can calculate the transmission time in advance. So typically wired LANs run with a speed of 100 megabits per second to 1 gigabits per second speed. Okay, and we know we have the concept called Ethernet. Right now we have 1 Gbps to 10 Gbps Ethernets were available, maybe more than that. So that about the speed. So in the sense, in every second it can transmit 1 gigabits. So imagine 1 giga in the sense. So I just want you to be clear about it. So let me write here. We have kilo means 10 power 3. Okay, and same thing if you are expressing in the power of 2, it will be 2 power 10, 1024, this is 1000. Okay, but in speed and all, when you are saying it is 10 power 3 only, 2 power, this concept of kilo you have to apply when it comes to size of memory. In computer organization and all, mainly we are using this for kilo. Actually we have a different name for this. This is something kibi, say like a kibi byte. Okay, so you can Google it, but mostly we are interchangeably using kilo for this one and this one. Okay, and the next unit we have is the mega, that is 10 power 6, and when it comes to power of 2, it will be 2 power 20. And then we have giga, that is 10 power 9, right, that is around 2 power 30. So here we seen the speed of a LAN can go up to 1 gigabits per second, in the sense in every second it can transmit 1 gigabits, that is 10 power 6 bits, sorry, not 10 power 6, 10 power 9 bits giga. Okay, 100 megabits per second to 1 gigabits per second. I think this you can visualize, okay, how large it is. So that makes LAN efficient with a very high speed. So, but when it comes to metropolitan area network or wide area network, you can't guarantee this speed, because they are spreading over a wider geographical area, right? So definitely speed will be less compared to this, and that bound we will see when we are discussing that one. Now compared to wireless network, the wired LAN exceed them in all dimensional performance, definitely, because we have a dedicated wired connection, right? So wireless connection, it will be suffering from different problems, like means the signal may spread across the air, that is the default medium, and the security issues, many problems were there, speed, many things, but those things were not there in the case of wired communication. So that makes wired communication a better performing one. So it is just easier to send signals over a wire or through the fiber optic cable than through air. So the overall thing is easier for you. Everything is directed for you. We have a directed cable, and through that you are sending your information. So it will reach the receiver nicely, right, without any loss. Loss will be there, but compared to wireless, this loss rate, error rate, everything is less for the wired communication. So that is what makes it attractive. But for convenience, we need wireless communication, right? So the topology that you know, right, different topologies. So of wired LAN is mainly typically point-to-point link that will extend to a kind of bus or star topology in a wired LAN mostly. Even ring, whatever it is. The basic thing is the point-point link. Right. Now it can have in bus topology and all, broadcast links are also there, but still this is the popular one. Now if you are looking at 802.3, in the previous slide we saw something called 802.11. 802.11. So that is the Wi-Fi, and now we have a different number called 802.3. For the time being, you can remember this number, and this is a common standard numbering only that you can remember, no problem. So this 802.3 is for Ethernet which is a very popular wired LAN. Okay, 802.11 is for the Wi-Fi, that is a wireless LAN technology, and Ethernet is another popular wired LAN. Okay, and the documentation, the standardization number is 802.3, and it is a common type of wired LAN. So I think all of you may be familiar with the term Ethernet. Okay, and anyway, we will see this Ethernet in detail in our second module, and it is a very important topic also. So don't worry about this at this point. Just understand that that is a popular wired local area network, name of a popular wired local area network, and it is being standardized by IEEE 802.3. So each computer speaks with something called an Ethernet protocol in this situation. Ethernet protocol, again, the within an Ethernet, which is a wired LAN, how the machines have to communicate to each other. Definitely they have to follow a protocol, and that protocol is popularly known as Ethernet protocol. Again, how this protocol is working, everything we will see later. And that connects to a box called a switch, just like the access point we discussed in the previous slide, or the router. Here we have something, so that common connection point is what we call as a Ethernet switch with a point-to-point link. Okay, so that is a normal configuration or topology of a typical wired LAN. Okay, that you can imagine, right? So there is a device called a switch, and to this special dedicated switch we are connecting different devices. And now when these devices want to communicate each other, it will be moving on to that switch, and switch will be communicating further to the destination, say like this. So now you can view it something like a star topology, but the same thing you can think of as a bus topology also, but mostly we have a hybrid topology. So because we are getting the benefits of both, right? A switch has multiple ports, so input as well as output ports, each of which can connect to on computer, and together we will achieve the communication. So the job of the switch is to relay, just like our access point, the switch is also doing this relaying of the information, that is packets, between the computers that are attached to this particular switch, using the address in each packet to determine which computer to send it. So we have a concept called address. Okay, and in case of this Ethernet, the name we are using a special address called the MAC address, media access control address, or Ethernet address, which is a 48-bit number. Okay, anyway, don't worry about this number and all. It's fixed numbering only. We will see it in later point, because addressing is, and you will be having a minimum idea why this addressing used, because you have to identify everyone uniquely, right? In your computer network, you have to identify each and every host uniquely. So every machines will be given some binary number using which you can locate it uniquely. Uniquely in the sense, the same address should not be given to more than one, otherwise confusion will be there. Just like your home address, here in computer network we have a binary unique number assigned to each machine that will uniquely identify the number. But not only this, we have a number of addressing concept, like sometimes we will you will be listening to the term IP address. Okay, 32-bit IP address, or the 128-bit IP version 6 address, this 48-bit MAC address, port address is there, some 16-bit. So many addresses were there, and what are their role, how these things are aligned to each other, everything we will see in our subsequent session. Again, right now you can understand that whether it is a local area network, that is wired or wireless, or metropolitan area network, or a personal area network, you have to identify each and every devices within it, and for that we are using a concept called the address. Okay, that's all. And here you can see a typical diagram I taken from the Tannenbaum textbook. So this is the something I tried to explain in the previous slides also, that is how devices are being connected to the so-called access point. So this will make this will make it a wireless local area network, maybe the 802.11 standard. Okay, and this is a so this whole picture is a wired local area network, and we saw some examples for this wireless LAN. We have the well-known example, that is Wi-Fi. It could be Wi-Fi or some other standard, and for wired LAN we have the Ethernet. And you know, Ethernet is not the only one, but mainly this is a popular one, and it is being there in your syllabus. Okay, and in addition to that, as we already seen, like what is this Ethernet? It is sorry, IEEE 802 point. When I am trying to put that point, it is moving to the next slide. IEEE 802.3. So this is what we call as the Ethernet. And similar to that, we have two more popular local area networks, wired local area network. They are IEEE 802.4 and 802.5. Okay, and this is something we call as the token bus network, and this is something we call as a token ring network. Okay, I think if these things are there in your syllabus, I will be covering. Otherwise, you will see it at some point, because if you are looking at the GATE exam and all, questions were coming from Ethernet and token ring. These two are popular among these two. But this token bus is something that sit in between and somewhat similar to the token ring only. Okay. So anyway, we will see this Ethernet in detail, that is for sure. Other things, if time allows, we will discuss. So again, for the time being, you can understand that these are all different wired local area networks. Okay. Popular wired local area network with their documentation. And similarly, there are many Wi-Fi like that. This is 802.11. Other standards were also there, but this is something popular one. Okay. So this IEEE number is there for everyone. Like if you are looking at Bluetooth, that is IEEE 802.15. Like that, it is having a documentation. We have WiMAX. All those things we are getting this kind of a standardization. So I hope you got an idea about it. Now you know. So just like. The access point or the wireless router in the wireless communication, here in wired communication, if you are using Ethernet protocol, we are using something called an Ethernet switch, and the switch is having many ports, and to each port a device is being connected. Okay, and one of the port will be connected to the rest of the network, means to the public network, to make the communication possible. So this is only within a building, right, within a campus or within an office. Now this office want to communicate to the outside world, right? So for that, one port is being used, and this will extend to the outside world, and from there it will be coming back. Similarly, the wireless network also, this access point will be having a connection to the wired network that is connecting to the public network, right? Okay, so that about the concept of what called LAN, local area network. So we saw in detail what is a typical local area network, and mainly the wired as well as the wireless local area network, and some examples, and some basic things only. And particularly if you want to look into this Ethernet protocol or Wi-Fi in detail, we have to learn a lot that you can find in some textbook. Anyway, as part of our course, if whenever it is coming, I will take one by one. Okay, so for the time being, so peripheral knowledge is enough. In-depth knowledge is not needed for all topics, and for those for which we need in-depth knowledge, and that time we will cover it. Okay, thank you.